Morning, welcome to my stream. It's Friday morning for me, and I've been restarting my computer to try to get my audio working, and I think I finally have it up and running now. Let's switch over to my display. Yeah, the reboot thing is the big hammer, but that was the easiest way I found to get this thing fixed. So let's get back to documents, dev RT, right? This is where we were. Get status should be clean. Oh, let me make the font a little bit bigger, and then I have to readjust the window width to make sure we get to 100 characters wide, because that's what cargo format sets things to. So, all right. Let's take a look at where we were last. Git log. A chasing AI system. So I remember doing the visible AI yesterday. And we did the chase AI. Oh, and then remove per AI tags. So have we done chase AI? Let's take a look at our systems, right? A ls-lt source AI. So we did visible. We didn't do chase yet. Okay. So this is where we left off. We automatically start chasing them. So now we need to start actually chasing them because we did visible. Yeah, that was the last thing we did. All right, so stop scrolling and start typing. Okay. And then standard collections hash map. And we're going to do what? We're going to set the type system data to chase data to K and set up chase data here. My turn. We have chasing, position, viewshed, and entity moved. And then all the entities. All right. So let's write the run function. Wow, a lot of mutates. It's data, okay. And once again, I'm going to let Rust infer the type. And if we have to change it, we change it later. Vec new. And then we have for. So every entity which has a turn and has the chasing marker. Wow, entities, turns, chasing. I'm going to get the target position. Which is going to be, okay, an entity that has that position. And then if let sum, if let sum target pos is equal to the chasing position, then targets insert otherwise we're going to end the chase. There's no target. We lost track of the thing we were chasing. Okay, and then we're going to, for every entity that ends its chase, chasing remove, done, and the chase clear. Isn't there a way in Rust you can just map over something and consume the map? Oh, this should be iter, not item. So you don't have to do this clear thing. I don't know. Maybe this is more performant this way. Entity, pause, chase, use shed, and my turn in and turns. Okay, turn, done, push, entity. Okay, so we're going to grab the current entity's targets, and we generated the list of targets up here. And then we're going to do an A* search. And oops, for the target position. Right, so that's our start and that's our end, and then we're going to pass it a map. And we're not going to make it mutable because we looked it up yesterday, and we don't need to make it mutable. Okay, paths, success, path steps len. So if we were able to find a path and it's more than one step away, oh, and less than 15. Okay, come on, 15. There we go. So we're saying if it's too far away, even if we can find a path to it, we're going to just ignore it. And this is that same code from, I think this is the third or fourth time we've put it in here. This is height. And it's divided by, and then we're going to insert entity moved. And then we're going to get the new index. And then we're going to set it blocked. Else and chase push entity. Oh, then we're going to do another one of these things. Wonder why they want to do it twice. It seems like it would be more efficient to do it once. And now we're doing remove, and oh, instead of doing end chase clear, we're just We're done in end chase, chasing remove. We're done in turn done, turns remove. Oh, okay. All right, well. Turns removed, done. Okay, so that's that. So what is this doing? The system ended up being more complicated than I hoped because the bar checker really didn't want me reaching into position storage twice. So we ended up with the following. We iterate all entities that have a chasing component and as well as a turn. And we look to see if the target is valid. If it is, we store it in a temporary hash map. This gets around needing to look inside position twice. If it isn't valid, we remove the component. I guess by remove the component, we add it to this end chase list. We iterate everyone who is still chasing and path to their target. If the path succeeds, then it follows the path. If it doesn't, we remove the chasing component. Then we remove everyone who took a turn from the my turn list. Add it to run systems before the default movement system. And then they have approach here, but I think this is chasing. So let's do that. We have to add it to the mod first. It's just chase AI. Yeah. Okay, and then we're going to add it to game state. What's it called? Default move system? Yeah, default movement systems. Which is... Here's default move. So let mod chasing is AI. Chase AI. Chasing run now. Okay, let's see if this checks. Nope. Oh, did I spell it wrong? What did I call it? Oh, just Chase AI system. Okay. And now we have 17 errors. On my turn. Does my turn doesn't exist. Chasing, oh, CHA. Oh, map. Map doesn't exist? Oh, because I call it MPA. Alright, map doesn't exist. Map doesn't exist. Path. Oh, path steps. Okay. Map, 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 map. Lots of map errors because of typo. Okay, let's see. We fixed a bunch of typos. Let's see if that solves. Okay, all but 2. Cannot bar chasing is mutable because it's also barred as immutable. Oh, this should be inside the loop. Okay, I mean, it should be outside the loop. Okay. Yeah, okay, that fixed that problem. All right, so we have a system now, but does it work? And how do we test to see if it works? We are no longer using bystander, monster, carnivore, and herbivore and vendor tags. So we can delete them from components and in main and in save load system. Once they're gone, you'll see errors in player. Because we use these tags to determine if we should attack or trade places with an NPC. We can replace the failing code and drive move player quite easily. Okay, so first let's clean up. Let's get this check committed. Let's fix that. It doesn't need to be mutable. Okay, git add source, git commit chasing AI system implementation. Okay, and now we're going to clean up the components. We don't need bystander or monster. We don't need carnivore or herbivore. And we don't need vendor. Okay, and now we'll go over to main. We have to do the same thing. So bystander, monster, carna, herba, and vendor. Okay. And then save load system. Carna, herba, and vendor. Okay. Here's vendor. Carna, herba, bystander I see there, and monster I see there. Did I do vendor already? I did. Okay. And we don't have them imported up here, so we're safe there. And if I check now, we should see those errors in player. Okay. Yep, in player.rs. So we don't need these two lines. We need to read in the factions. Okay, so we'll just change this to factions and change this to faction and we get rid of vendor. Then we replace the tag check with this. So here's where we have potential target and map tile content, dest iter. That stays the same. Hostile is true. And then combat stats, get potential target is some, and then we check the faction. So we get rid of all of this bystander business here. We change this to if. Okay, before I delete all of that. Okay, so that's this. So note that we want to move the bystander. That's this comment here. Okay, so this is all new code then. And then if let some faction. And we're going to decide what to do. Raws, faction reaction, faction name, player, and then create raws dot lock unwrap. Like that, and then if reaction is not equal to reaction attack, hostile is false. And then here, this changes if not hostile. Okay. Notice that we're using a faction system we made earlier. That's one more fix to player. There is one more fix to player RS, deciding if we can heal because of nearby monsters. It's basically the same change. We check if an enemy is hostile, and if it is, it prohibits healing because you are nervous / on edge. So that's in skip turn, which is down here. So we got the player entity, the view sheds, and then factions. And heal is set to true. View shed is player entity for each tile. World map resource for entity ID. And then we're going to do this. All right, so we're on this line here, world map resource tile content IDX iter, and now we're going to grab the factions. So match factions get entity ID, and we're going to decide what to do. If it's none, we do nothing. If it's some, why don't we do an if let then? If let some faction equal this. Right, and then we can say let reaction is create raws faction reaction player, and then create raws dot lock unwrap, and then if reaction is reaction attack and can heal is false. And at that point, we can actually break out of the loop. Right? There's no reason to keep looking. So I think the way this works is you just say outer like that, and you can just say break outer. And what did I do? Oh, this faction dot name. One arrow left. REA. There we go. All right, so this builds. That's exciting. And this we can test to see if we can heal while there are monsters nearby. All right, I restarted my thing, so I got to restart the server. Documents dev rt wasm basic http server. There we go, and so now we can hit refresh on, not there, here. Okay, so I finished building. Let's refresh there. Begin new game. So if we go, well, first we have to get damaged, right? Wow, this is running very slowly. Okay, so let's go get damaged. There's a rat. Maybe the rat will accommodate us. It's attacking the deer. A rat's killing the deer. There we go. Okay, so now I should be able to... I was hitting space. So if I hit space again until the rat damages me. So I'm down to 19 now. If I kill... I can't... If I run away... I can still see the monster, so I can't heal, right? But if I now kill the rat and get out of view of the bandit, now I should be able to heal. Yeah, so now I can hit space and heal. Okay, so that's working. Let's commit those changes. Add source, commit -m, remove unused components, and fix up player code to match. Good. All right, so now we're at distance culling AI. We're currently spending a lot of CPU cycles on events far from the player. Performance is still okay, but this is suboptimal for two reasons. We may just run around finding dead people if the factions are fighting while we are far away, and tilts a better story to arrive as something is happening rather than just finding the aftermath. We don't want to waste our precious CPU cycles. So let's open up Initiative System and modify it to check the distance to the player and not have it turn if they are far away. Okay. So what are we doing now? This is all the same, right? Oh no, we have a read expect point, right? That's the position of the player. So I'll add that up here. Read expect point. Okay, and then we have to extract it here. as player pause. Front state is ticking return, so that stays the same. Roll initiative. To do stays the same. And then we say if entity is player, then waiting input. Else, now we're going to run a distance algorithm. Player pause, and then point new pause X, pause Y, and then we're going to say if distance is greater than 20, my turn is false. And we're going to say if it's my turn, then we're going to insert my turn. But we haven't needed, where's the my turn insert now? Oh, this comes down. So we get rid of that and put it here after we determine whether or not we can take a turn. Right? So if my turn, we do that. Right? Okay, I think those are all the changes. This is new pause X, new pause Y. So I missed a line somewhere where we grabbed the position. Oh, up here. Now we need the position. Okay. And my turn needs to be set to true at the beginning. There we go. Okay. You may have noticed a performance drop while we worked through this chapter. We've added a lot of functionality, so the systems seem like the culprit, but they aren't. Our systems are actually running at a really good speed. One advantage of doing one thing per system, your CPU cache is very happy. If you'd like to prove it, do a debug build Fire Profiler. I use Very Sleepy on Windows and attach it to the game. I'm running on a Mac, so Very Sleepy isn't going to work for me. Okay. The culprit is actually initiative. Oh, hi, DevKJ. Sorry, I missed your chat. Not every entity is moving on the same tick anymore, so it's taking more cycles through the main loop to get to the player's turn. This is a small slowdown, but noticeable. Fortunately, you can fix it with a quick change to the main loop. Okay, so I think, yeah, this runs all initiative cycles until it's the player's turn and it brings the game back up to full speed. Yeah, so we stay in this ticking state until we end up being player turn, and then once we're in player turn, then we can stop the ticking state. Okay. So let's make it also part of this change. But I'd like to take a quick peek to see if there's anything similar to Very Sleepy on Mac OS. Tutorial game state. Okay, so we're going to say while new run state is run state ticking. We'll run the systems. We don't have to do the maintain because it's already in run systems. So this is all the same. It's just put into a while loop. Right? Okay, so let's rebuild that WASM. And refresh here. Oh, fav icon, yeah. We don't have one of those. Maybe I can make one. All right. Begin new game. So now, oh yeah. Okay. So this, yeah. it feels more performant, even though it's using the same amount of CPU as before. We're now able to move every... Ooh, we hit a wolf right away. Oh, the wolf doesn't see us yet. Do I have to move before the wolf will see me? Oh no, the wolf's just sleeping? Oh, the wolf... There might be a bug here. Oh, the wolf is a... it's swapping positions with me. Oh, that's not good. I must have messed up something with the wolf. The rat attacks me, and I can attack it. But I must have messed something up with the wolf. Let's take a look at our raws. Yeah. It's raws like this, and then spawns. So the wolf is a carnivore animal. See, it's a carnivore faction, right? So it should do it. The movement is static. Let's take a look at that faction in terms of how it feels about the... Oh! Did I typo that? Oh, it's carnivores. That's what happened. So the wolf was not doing anything because it should be a carnivores faction. Alright, let's generate the WASMs and see if wolves will attack me. Right now it just swaps positions with me, which means it thinks it's a non-hostile. Alright, begin new game. Let's go find a wolf. And or a large spider, although large spiders are probably in the limestone caves. I can just do this, right? Oh, now I can't attack the rat? That's weird. There's still a bug somewhere. Shield. Let's see if we can find a wolf and see if the wolf will attack me. Now that it's a carnivore. Oh, there's a bandit. Let's run away from the bandit. He's chasing me though, that's neat. So that part's working. There's a wolf. Come on, wolf. No, the wolf didn't see me, or... Where'd the wolf go? There was a wolf there, wasn't there? Too many rats. Alright, gotta find a wolf and then we'll move on to the next thing. Mangy wolf attacks a bandit. Oh. Where was the bandit? Now I've lost everything. There's some deer. Now I'm hungry. Need some dried sausage. There's the bandit. Uh-oh, the bandit is now swapping places with me. I saw the wolf. Okay, now I can attack the wolf. Alright, we gotta fix the bandit as well. Bandits. Faction bandits. Yeah, so it should be herbivores. So that's what I did. I made a whole bunch of mistakes there. And then cave goblin. Faction is mindless. So that should probably be changed to cave goblins, right? What other factions are there? We have townsfolk. That's already plural. So I don't think I typoed that one. And the hungry rodents. That's already plural. Hungry rodents. There's only one hungry rodent. Okay, so hopefully that's all fixed. Improve. UI responsiveness. And fix factions. Okay. That is the end of this chapter. So how many more chapters do we have? We have a whole bunch more. We have like, what? Maybe another 12.5 chapters to go? I can't do that in my head. So we're going to look at spatial mapping. Let's push this up to GitHub since we ended the chapter. And, oh, hang on one second. Give me 1 minute here. All better. Spatial mapping. You may have noticed that this chapter is 57A. Oh, yes, indeed, by file name. Some problems emerged with the spatial indexing system after the AI changes in chapter 57. Rather than change an already oversized chapter with what is a decent topic in and of itself, I decided it would be easier to insert a section. In this chapter, we're going to revise the map indexing system and associated data. We have a few goals. The stored locations of entities and the blocked system should be easy to update mid-turn. We want to eliminate entities sharing a space. We want to fix the issue of not being able to enter a tile after an entity is slain. I haven't noticed that one. And we'd like to retain good performance. That's a fairly high bar. Rather than scattering maps tile content, the blocked list, the periodically updated system, and the calls to these data structures everywhere, it would be a lot cleaner to move it behind a unified API. We could then access the API and functionality changes automatically get pulled in as things improve. That way we just have to remember to call the API, not remember how it works. So we'll make a module called create a spatial directory. Okay. And we'll stub out our spatial backend and add some content. Here we go. Okay, we're doing mutexes again. And tile content, vec of entity. So what is this doing? fn new self. Okay. And we can just implement default. And just return that. Because I imagine this struct is going to grow quite a bit. And then lazy static. Static ref spatial map. It's a mutex of spatial map. Okay, this should be static. The spatial map struct contains the spatial information we are storing in map. It's deliberately not public. We want to stop sharing the data directly and use the API instead. Then we create a lazy static, a mutex-protected global variable, and use that to store the spatial information. Storing it this way allows us to access it without burdening Specs' resources system, and makes it easier to offer access both from within the systems and from the outside. Since we're mutex protecting the spatial map, we also benefit from thread safety that removes the resource from Specs' threading plan. Okay, so Specs must be doing multiple threads. That's why we have to do the locks for the raws, I guess. This makes it easier for the program as a whole to use threads for the dispatchers, I think. Map API replacement. We need a way to resize the spatial map when a map changes. In spatial, we're going to do a set size. Okay. lock blocked is vec false map tile count, and lock tile content is vec new map tile count. Okay, so it's just basically wiping the entire map and setting everything to false. This is a bit inefficient in that it reallocates, but we don't do it often, so it should be okay. We also need a way to clear the spatial contents. Okay. It would be better, I think, if we looked at the code that we're changing in order to generate, because we're generating an API, but we don't understand where these functions are called from yet. So it would be, I think, better to, okay, maybe have a little mini design doc. Say how to use, what do we want the spatial map system to do, and how it should be used by the rest of the code. Content in lock tile content intermute content clear, and there we go. And we need an analog for the map's current populate blocked function, which builds a list of which tiles are blocked by terrain. Okay. For I and tile in map tiles iter enumerate. Lock blocked of I is equal to not tile lockable of tile. Okay. So update the two map functions that handle spatial mapping to use the new API. So in map/mod.rs, which is this function here, or that file, populate blocked is going to be create spatial populate blocked from map. Why is it mutatable? We're no longer mutating it. So it shouldn't. We should be able to get rid of this, is what I'm saying. But let's see. And then clear content index. Create spatial clear. Okay. Does this check? Oh, I have to add spatial to the lib. Source lib. Pub mod spatial. And pub use spatial ::star. Is it time to sort these now? Does map go before or after map builders? Okay. So let's do a check again. 8 errors. Yikes. Oh, we have to lazy static is in scope, but it's a crate, not a macro. So we have to import. Did I miss that up above? No, I think I just need to import it, right? Like that? No. Cannot find populate blocked from map and create spatial. And then, oh, maybe because it didn't compile? Yeah, so we have to pull in map. Yeah, okay. Oh, it's not in the Git files yet. source spatial map mod. All right, so we'll need to pull in, use create map. And then what else do we have? Clear doesn't exist. And map doesn't exist. Okay. We add this, let's check. Nope, we still have 5 errors. Oh, spatial, S-P-A-T-I-A-L. Yeah, I got that. Is it still because it's not building? Yeah, I mean, I got the spatial lock thing wrong, right? But and then tile walkable needs to be pulled in from the crate as well. And then I messed up this vec new needs brackets. Okay, so maybe if we get the mod building, it'll fix these 2 first problems. No, that's still an issue, and they're definitely pub, right? Oh, they're not. Okay, they're not in. I put them in the struct, and they shouldn't be in the struct. None of them should be in the struct. Okay, so let's just shift everything over. Okay, I think that was the problem. Yeah, okay, we're good. Okay, so I did this, and now we're going to populate the spatial index. We already have map indexing system handling initial per frame population of the spatial map. Since we're changing how we're storing the data, we also need to change the system. The indexing system performs 2 functions on the map's spatial data. It sets tiles as blocked, and it adds indexed entities. We've already created a clear and populate block from map functions it needs. Replace the body of map indexing system's run function with this. So here's our map indexing system. Oh. Map position blockers and entities, so that stays the same. We can then call spatial clear. And spatial, we can just add it like this. Populate blocked from map. Like that. So like that, map. So we do that, and then entity and position, entities position join, we get the index. Okay, if they block, update the blocking list. If let sum p, if blockers get entity is sum, then spatial, okay, we're just going to star this then. Set blocked IDX. And then push. It's a copy type, so we don't need to clone it to avoid moving it out of the ECS. Okay. And then spatial, so we just change this here. Index entity, entity IDX, which I don't think we've written yet. Oh, yeah. Okay, it says it right here. So then in mod, we're going to add a new function called index entity. And then lock tile content and push entity. All right, the maps constructor also needs to tell the spatial system to resize itself. Add the following to the constructor. Maps constructor, so it's going to be in map. Here's new for map. So we set the tile count, and then we say create spatial set size map tile count. All right. So I guess the dangers of this is that there's a single map with a single global variable with the spatial data in it. So we just have to keep it in sync with the current map. Okay, and then remove the old spatial data from the map. Time to break stuff. This will cause issues throughout the source space. Remove blocked and tile content from the map. The new map definition is as follows. So, like that. You also need to remove them from the constructor. I actually just did the constructor, so where's blocked? Here it is. And then tile content. Oh. Okay. Interesting. The isExit valid function in map breaks because its access is blocked. The spatial mod rs will make a new function to provide this functionality is blocked. Source spatial. And add a new pub fun is blocked. And it's just going to do this. Oh, I forgot. I'll get used to this new copy line thing soon. Block. Oops. Blocked IDX. Just like that. Okay. And then we have to call it, right? This allows us to fix maps isExit valid function. And we just call create spatial is, oh, stop hitting F1, is blocked of IDX. Like that. Okay. We still haven't fixed everything, right? The getMap function in Dungeon creates a new unused tile content entry. We don't need that anymore, so we'll remove it. Here's Dungeon. getMap. Let mute result is self-maps depth clone. We don't need to do this, and then we still just return some result or none. Okay. And then fixing the AI. Looking through the AI functions, we're often querying tile content directly. Since we're trying for an API now, we can't do that. The most common use case is iterating the vector representing a tile. We'd like to avoid the mess that results from the returning a lock and ensuring that it is freed. This leaks too much implementation detail from an API. Instead, we'll provide a means of iterating tile content with a closure. So in Spatial, we're going to create a function here for each tile content f. So we're going to take in this function where f is fn entity. Okay. Let lock spatial map lock unwrap for entity in lock tile content IDX iter, and then we just call the function on entity. And I messed something up. I did, right here. Nope. Where else? Looks like everything matches. Huh. Okay. I'm going to save everything and see what blows up. Yeah, there's 30 errors, but that's all because of this. Oh, could not find spatial and super. Oh, because it's in crate. All right. We'll fix what errors we can, but there's going to be others, and then we're going to have to talk about how we're going to use this closure, or how we're going to use this function and pass in the closure. That's going to be somewhere here. Here it is. Okay, we're down to 29 errors. Use of undeclared creator module spatial. Can I just get rid of it altogether? Because we're importing it? I guess so. But we're going to have to fix up all these other errors. Right? In every single system is going to have an error. So we created this. I'm going to ignore the other errors for now. And we're going to look in, what are we going to do? The f variable is a generic parameter using where to specify that it must be a mutable function that accepts an entity as a parameter. This gives us a similar interface to for each on iterators. You can run a function on each entity in a tile, relying on a closure capture to let you handle local state when calling it. So if we pull up the adjacent AI system, down here in our evaluate, we can just, instead of this, we're going to say create spatial for each tile content IDX other entity, and then just do the same for loop. I like this API. It's very similar to the old setup, but it's cleanly wrapped. Okay. But we're still not done, right? I mean, this is just one change. We have to change all the others. Oh, right. And then after this, I need to close this. Yeah, so blocked here now. Instead of blocked, we actually have to call some function. Right, because we got rid of whatever was using it. Oh no, this is the new code and map indexing system that I changed. Which is where? Oh, blockers get. Okay. I was thinking this was still part of the issues that we were seeing before. There's an is block, but I thought there was also a set blocked. There's a set size. Did I just miss set blocked somewhere? There's populate blocked. There's clear the set size. Okay, set blocked. There's a call to it. And we're also going to delete the set blocked function and make it automatic from the populate blocked and index entity. So we never wrote set blocked. I imagine that it is just, I mean, just temporarily we can write a set blocked. And what does it take? Just an index? And it doesn't return anything. And we can just grab the lock Oops, forgot. There we go. And then we can say lock blocked IDX is equal to true. Right? I mean, I think that's all it's doing. And then we're going to delete it later. Other entity can't be dereferenced. Yeah, we don't dereference it here, and then down here as well. I think everything else stays the same. Yeah, so now we have all the systems, like the approach system, and this, I think, is a candidate to move into the new map API, right? But let's get there first. Okay, approach API, some nasty code. Yeah, oh yeah, approach API, perfect. If you're wondering why I defined the API and then changed it, it's so that you can see how the sausage is made. API building is like this, always an iterative process, and it's good to see how things evolve. Look at the approach AI system. The code is pretty gnarly. We're manually changing blocked when the entity moves. Worse, we may not be doing it right. It simply unsets blocked. If for some reason the tile were still blocked, the result would be incorrect. That won't work. We need a clean way of moving entities around and preserving the blocked status. Adding a blocks tile check to everything whenever we move things is going to be slow and pollute our already large specs lookups with even more references. Instead, we'll change how we are storing entities. Okay, we'll also change how we're storing blocked. In spatial, blocked is going to be a vec of a tuple of bools, and tile contents is going to be a vec of a tuple of entity and bool. Okay. Stay Mazueli. Yeah, hi. Thank you for the follow. Mazueli. That sounds Italian to me. So we're going to change this to a vec of bool. I'm going to change this to a tuple of entity bool. Okay. The blocked vector now contains a tuple of two bools. The first is, does the map block it? The second is it blocked by an entity? This requires that we change a few other functions. We're also going to delete the set block. Okay, the one we just added. Okay, boom, gone. And make it automatic from the populate blocked from map and index entity functions. Automatic is good. There are fewer opportunities to shoot one's foot. All right, so set size is now going to be a vec of false. This stays the same because it's just a vector new. Okay, clear is going to do this. It's going to say iter mut for each b. I'm going to set b.0 is false and b.1 false. Why not just set b to false? I don't know. And then this stays the same. All right, populate block from map stays the same. Oh, .0. That's the change there. And there's index entity. So this stays the same, except now we pass in a blocks tile. And then we say if blocks tile this is .1 is set to true. Okay, so the first 0 is for the map, and the second 0 is, sorry, the first bool is for the map, the second bool is for the entity on the map. And then is blocked becomes an OR. And lock.blocked idx.0 or lock blocked idx.1. Like that, right? And then for each tile content, looks like it's, oh no, it doesn't stay the same, entity.0. That requires that we tweak map indexing system again. The great news is that it keeps getting shorter. That is great news. Okay, so we do a clear, a populate block from map. We get the position, and then we just call index entity. And then we have to pass in blockers get entity is sum. Nice. So with that done, let's go back to Approach AI system. Okay, well, let's see if this should pop us into Approach AI system. Yes. Looking at the code with the best of intentions, we were trying to update blocked based on an entity having moved. We naively cleared blocked from the source tile and set it in the destination tile. We used that pattern a few times, so let's create an API function that actually works consistently. That was something I brought up yesterday, so I'm happy about that. So, oh no, I'm going to have to go into spatial. All right, so right about here looks good. Pump, fun, move, entity. Usize, moving to usize. Retain. What does this do? Oh no, this is a tuple. Hi Codev, how are you? I don't have any chatbots in chat. My current OS is Mac OS. If star E is entity blocks, and it returns false, otherwise it returns true. And then, okay, so what does this do? So this is looping over a moving from. So this is looping over the tile content, and it's going to retain every entry that is not the entity, right? Because that's when we return true. We will set entity blocks to blocks if we found an entity, if we found the entity, and it blocks. So then lock tile content moving to push the block, and then we're going to recalculate the blocks for both tiles. Lock tile content moving from iter for each blocks, and then we're going to say if blocks, then from blocked is true. And then we're going to do a moving to if blocks to blocked is true. Right? And then lock blocked moving from dot one is from blocked, and moving to is to blocked. Okay, so this allows us to fix the Approach AI system with much cleaner bit of code. All right, let's go to the, oops, I must have missed something up here. Oh, moving to. I misspelled moving to. There we go. Yep. Okay, so now we're back in the Approach AI system, and we're going to change this to a much cleaner bit of code. Get rid of that. We grab the new location, or the place we wanted to move to. Entity moved is still there, which is kind of annoying. We'll say let new IDX is our new IDX, and then instead of all of this, well, I don't know, it's not that much cleaner, is it? Create spatial move entity IDX and new IDX. And then we probably have to do that in a few different places. Yeah. Here's Chase. Chase has the same issue. The fix is nearly identical. Get rid of that. We don't actually need mute on here anymore. And then instead of this, we say create spatial move entity and new IDX. Right? And then default move system. This file is a little more complicated. Okay, let's see if we get to this next. Yep, we're in default move system. Okay, so what are we doing here instead that's so different? The first broken section both queries and updates the blocked index. Change it to this. So that's this section here. So what we're going to do is say create spatial is blocked dest IDX. We're going to get the new position. We don't do that. We still do entity moved, and then we create spatial move entity IDX and new IDX. Oops. Where's new? Oh, dest IDX. There we go. The random waypoint option is has a very similar change. So that's over here. So we hit Shift Y and P. Huh. Except this is not dest index, it's path 1 as usize. Get rid of that. Still do the entity move. We say let new IDX and then change this line. Create spatial move entity okay, and then fixing flee. So let's go fix flee. If let some flee target is flee target, and we can do the create thing. We're going to do the move entity right at the top here. Like that. Yep, and still do the entity moved. Okay, and then fixing visible AI system. Yep, and this is where we are. So in our evaluate function, we have to do the closure for each tile content, IDX, and other entity. And we're going to open the brace, and down here we're going to close it, and then we have to get rid of the star from there. Okay, the various inventory systems. In an inventory system, the item use system performs a spatial lookup. Nope, I forgot the star there. This is another one that can be replaced with the closure system. Okay, Oh. This is the first time we're seeing this error here. Okay, it says specs entity cannot be dereferenced, which means we're not getting a reference to that. Did I mess up the code here for each tile content? Let's look at the first. No, there's a star right there. It's saying it can't be dereferenced. Well, I mean, I can take that out and see what happens. Oh, that's right. We changed it. Maybe when we change it, oops. I want to keep this at 100. There. When we changed it, I forgot to take the star out. Maybe that's what it is. For each tile. Oh, with game mode. Okay, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves here. Where did I change it? Yeah, okay, here it is. Yeah, the star comes away. Okay. Okay, now we're in player, but we're trying to fix inventory first. Where were we? Let's flee. There's visible. Here, okay. So change this to this. And that's in the item use system, which is over here. Wow. What do we have for mob? And map tile content. Okay, all we're going to do is change this to create spatial for each tile content, IDX, mob, targets, push mob. Okay, that looks nice. And then there's another one. Let's copy that and paste it here. There we go. It's the same line. Yeah, okay. And then fixing player RS. So let's see if this checks. Well, we don't know, but we're down to only 6 errors left, so that's good. The function try-move-player does a really big query of the spatial indexing system. It also sometimes returns mid-calculation, which our API doesn't currently support. We'll add a new function to enable this for each tile with content with game mode. Okay. It returns a run state where f is fn mute entity returning an option run state. Okay. Let lock a spatial map, and then for entity and lock tile content, and then instead of just calling the function, we're going to call it and see if it's going to return something. Otherwise, we return run state awaiting input. Interesting. Okay, this function runs like the other one, but accepts an optional game mode from the closure. If the game mode is some X, then it returns X. If it hasn't received any modes by the end, it returns awaiting input. Replacing it with the new API is mostly a matter of using new functions and performing the index check inside the closure. Here's the new function. Oh, it's big. Oh, we don't know run state. Run state. There, okay, so now we're here. So there's the swap entities, there's the for loop. There's the check for location, there's the destination. And then we're going to change this here. Result equals crate spatial. Where's result defined? Oh, okay, right there. Crate spatial for each tile content with game mode dest and then potential target. That we have to close it. And what else changed? We got hostiles true, combat sets get potential target no longer needs a star. And reaction is faction reaction. That all stays the same. There's another deref on potential target. Entity move, you shed dirty is true. Oh, and then we have to say return some run state ticking. Else, the target's combat stats. If target is some, then we do the wants to melee. And we have to return some run state ticking. Like that. And then we check doors. So if let some door, we'll get rid of the star and potential target. Oops, I missed one up here. Two up here. Doors open is true, blocks visibility remove, blocks movement remove. We get the glyph, open door glyph, and then we're going to return some run state ticking. Otherwise we're going to return none. Okay. And then we have this code here. Instead of checking map blocked, we say crate spatial is blocked. Oh, I just call it dest. Okay, then we're going to change this. Old index. We update the index or the position with the new, and then we grab the new index, which is the exact same line. We do the entity moved, and now we do the crate spatial. Dayloop, thank you for the follow. Move entity. New IDX. Okay. So we get the point, we update the resource, we do the thing, setting result, and then swap entities changes a little bit. So swap entities gets more complicated. So let old IDX is equal to map XY IDX, pause X, and there pause Y. This gets set, and then we get the new index is going to be the exact same line of code. We do the create spatial move entity, and then set the result to run state ticking. Result is run state ticking, and then we return the result down here. Notice the to-do. We're going to want to look at that before we are done. Where's the to-do? I missed the to-do. Okay, to-do. There is no to-do. I guess we're not worried about it now, just yet. We'll come to it. We're moving entities around and not updating the spatial map. Here we are. And here we are. Maybe this is a leftover bit of text. I don't know. We'll find out. Let's see. The skip turn also needs to replace direct iteration of tile content with the new closure-based setup. Okay, so skip turn is here. So what are we talking about? Are we talking about this loop here? Yeah. Oh, now we can't do this break anymore. Oh well. Carino says they did the to-do but didn't remove the comment. Yeah, I think you're right. I think they just went ahead and did it and then just forgot about the message. But that's fine. I mean, we'll work our way through it, and then if anything blows up, we'll fix it. So here's factions. I'm looking here. Factions.get entity ID, which is here. That's this line here. So this is all this. So all we need to do is pull this out. Phasma55, thank you for the follow. Great. Spatial. For each tile content. IDX and then entity ID. We do this. We still need to grab the view shed, I believe. But we no longer need to do... Oh, wait. Where's skip turn? Here it is. We don't... So this says for tile in view shed visible tiles hitter. So we still have to loop over this, right? We have to loop over every visible tile. But then instead of doing these lines, I think that's what's changing. It's not clear. Spatial for each tile content. This makes the most sense to me. Entity ID. And then we don't need to dereference entity ID here. We can't do the break, so we don't need the outer loop anymore. But we are setting can heal to false. That's that. I think that's all it needs to change. And then fixing the trigger system. Trigger system also needs some love. This is just another direct for loop replacement with the new closure. All right, well, let's see if this checks. Did we jump to trigger system? No, we jumped over here to entity. Oh, maybe this should be M. Let's see. M.0. Okay. No, we're still not done. Oh, this should be tile, right? Oh, this says IDX, so we still need to grab the index from somewhere. How do we get the tiles index? It was probably in the code already. Get diff. Source tutorial player. Action and reaction. Oh, it's this line here. This is what I missed. I shouldn't have deleted that line. Here. There we go. There's still a star on that guy. Okay, now we're in the visibility system. Is that what's next? No, this is the trigger system. More of the same invisibility. Okay, so let's go to trigger first. Since that's here. Entity not equal to entity ID. Okay, so this just changes to this. Create spatial for each tile content at index entity ID is this, and we get rid of all the stars. Right, and then we're going to find this and close it. I think that's all it needs to change there. And now we're in Visibility System. So Visibility System needs a very similar fix. So we're going to change this to create spatial for each tile content. And then for E, we get rid of the stars. And then close it like that. Right? And then the save load system also needs some tweaking. Replace this with this. Okay? Oh, so we're just going to blow this whole line away. Create spatial set size. If you cargo build, it now compiles. We'll see about that. It does not compile because I forgot to take that star away. Oh boy, now we have issues here. Expected FN instead of FN mute. Oh, was this supposed to be for game mode? No. Should for each tile content contain FN mute instead of FN? Let's take a look. It takes FN, not FN mute. And now, but we're definitely doing a mutate on reactions. But reactions is outside the closure. So now we're going to take a quick peek at their code. We'll go to 57A and see if they just changed it to an FN mute, which is my guess is what happened. Where's spatial? Oh, that's, yeah, 57. Oh, this is 57AI. Here it is, spatial. Okay, source spatial mod. And it is, yes, it is FN mute. Okay, so that's an easy fix. Like that. Now what? Help consider changing this to be mutable. Oh, I have to say the mute F. Okay. There. Okay, we're down to 0 errors. We have a bunch of warnings, but we're down to 0 errors, which is great. And now where were we in terms of this document? We fixed player. We fixed the trigger system. We fixed the visibility system. We fixed the saving and loading. And if I cargo build, now it compiles. That's progress. Now cargo run the project and see how it goes. The game runs at a decent speed and is playable. There's still a few issues. We resolve these in turn. So all we did was make things a little more in terms of CPU usage. Oh, and there's a bunch of, okay, we'll clean those up. We'll clean those up. Thank you for the cheer, Dayloop. All right. Yeah, what we can do is we can clean up all of these things and then call it a stream. I need to stop in a little under 10 minutes here. I mean, it seems to be running just fine in terms of performance. It's very reactive to my key presses, which is great. And so, as far as CPU utilization, I have no idea, because we're running in a WASM, so it's in a browser and all that kind of jazz. Oh, that's right. The other thing I wanted to take a look at was macOS executable profiler. Maybe there's a good one out there. Profile and application macOS. Yeah, I mean, there's activity monitor, but that doesn't give us like detailed profiling, like, you know, which functions are being called the most and all that kind of stuff. All right, that's something I can look at later. Let's fix up all of these things though. Yeah, we can generate a flame graph day loop, but we need a code that generates the data for the flame graph to be shown. Is there some neat tool built into Rust that will do that for us? We can go to crates. Flame graph. I want to be able to attach to a running system. I can Rust-powered flame graph generator with additional support for cargo projects. Relies them on perf on Linux and dtrace otherwise. Okay. Windows is getting dtrace support. Yeah, I use dtrace in my day job all the time. It's really, really handy. And generating flame graphs is key to making my job, making my manager happy with my job. So I'm familiar with all of this, but this is neat. Okay, I don't use Rust, I use C. So this is cool. So we can cargo install flame graph. And then, okay, so maybe this is something we can look at on Monday, because I want to wrap up these failures and then call it a stream. So let's see, adjacent AI system no longer needs map, invisible AI system no longer needs map. So let's get rid of those. Map is no longer needed. Map is no longer needed. Map is no longer needed. So this should still check. Oh no, so we still need map. What are they talking about? Line 120. Let's take a look at line 120. Oh, inside evaluate. There we go. Rogue Particles says probably a good idea to zoom in a bit. What do you mean? I'm not sure what you're referring to. What should I be zooming into? Okay, so there's that, and then Visible AI also has a map down here we don't need. Oh, and then I'm gonna have to update the code here to not pass the map in. Duh. Okay, that's that. Oh, font size. You want me to make my font size larger? This is already up larger by 1. I can make it larger again, but then I'm trying to strike a good balance between having the browser window next to the. Let me do that. Okay, there's one larger, but now I need to make this a little wider. I don't know. Does that work? It's very difficult to see the fonts. You mean the characters? I mean, I can make it bigger still, but that's going to shrink my browser window by a bit. All right, let's go with this and see how this goes. We don't need map here anymore, right? That's what I was changing. Wow, there's a lot of calls to evaluate here. Oh, that's right. There's one for each of the directions. And if we're not passing map in, is there a reason we're actually using map anyway? Okay, we're down to 9 warnings. You're welcome, Rogue Protocol. Yeah, I definitely want people to be able to see what I'm doing. So thank you for letting me know it was too small. This is too small because this is just for me to look at. So this is approach. Here's default move system needs to get fixed. What line is that on? 78. Oh, that doesn't need to be mutable. And then flee. Does flee have an evaluate? No. So what's flee complaining about? Line 24 doesn't need to be mutable. Oh. Okay. Good. Then this can be a read expect. Like that. All right, down to 7 errors. And then dungeon. Okay. What line was that on? 25. Okay, so we can just say sum of this, right? We don't need to set a result variable. That cleans that up. And then map indexing system line 16. We don't need a mutatable map, which makes this a read expect. Okay? Still 5 errors. Approach AI system still has an issue, line 24. Oh, map doesn't need to be this, so let's change it. Read expect. Approach AI system doesn't need a mutatable on line 48. That's correct. And then chase and default both don't need mutatable map anymore. Read expect, and then map does not need to be mutatable. Okay. Good. Okay, so that cleans everything up. So git add source, git commit, refactor map blocking system into its own module. That was a lot of work. And there's a lot of diffs. Actually, why don't I have the... Yeah, and this is the whole, all the new code here, and then all we have to do is refactor everything, refactor the world. I thought I had Delta. Oh, that's right, you have to set it up special. Yeah, I have to, let me do this real quick before I forget, because I'm going to forget if I don't do it now. To set, oops. Yeah, okay. So core, pager is delta, interactive, diff filter is delta color only. I'm just using the basic. If anybody has any good suggestions on other delta options. Merge is conflict style. STYLE, there we go. Diff 3. And then diff is color moved default. And then I should be able to say show head, and we have, that's much nicer. Okay. So you can see all the little changes that were made, inserts and deletes. And shows you which what you're in when you're looking at it. I like this better. Okay, so we're good. Let's push this up to GitHub. right here in my diffs for today. We only did 4, but that's okay. We did a lot of work that last one there. And then on Monday, let's see, Monday. So we finished. Did we finish this? Oh, we didn't even finish this. We have to clean up the dead. All right. So there's some more work, but I don't have time for this right now, unfortunately. So we're going to clean up the dead on Monday. Change topics slightly. Can I show the git config again? Sure. Yeah, it's in the. Let me actually paste this into the chat. Delta is kind of a neat little a diff tool. It shows. It's kind of cool, and I like the way it shows things rather than with all the pluses and minuses and everything. What was I saying? Oh yeah, on Monday. So we'll finish up this chapter on Monday, but then also I want to do the guy who made Advent of Code, which I'm a huge fan of, huge fan of, and I streamed all 25 days. It took me 26 days to stream 25 days. Created this thing called the Cinecore Challenge. And let me paste this into chat too, in case people are interested in it. Rogue Particle says, can you do that for any language? Yeah, I think the Delta diff works for anything. You just install Delta. And then you can run it. And you just have to configure it for Git to use automatically. But I want to work on this. This looks really interesting. And I'm gonna sign up for this thing here and do this on Monday. Why is it so big though? Oops. I just hit Command 0 in the wrong. I guess this is the size of it. It's very large. And now I've lost this thing here. There. That's probably the size it was. Okay. So I'm going to do the Cinecore challenge on Monday after we finish up the Spatial chapter for the roguelike. So thank you everyone for hanging out with me. Epic Blog says, is it sort of like Advent of Code? I don't know yet. But this was recommended to me saying, hey, you like Advent of Code, you should check out the Cinecore challenge. Okay, I will do that because it's apparently you have to solve puzzles by writing code, which is what I like to do. But it's made by Eric Wastel, the same guy who did Advent of Code. So I'm looking forward to doing that. We will check that out on Monday. And thanks again, everyone, for hanging out with me. And I will, let's go see if there's anybody who I follow who's good to raid. Oh, that's right. I got to hit refresh before I'll see anybody. No, I think we're clean. All right. Enjoy your the rest of your day and your evenings, everyone. And I will call it a day. Take care.